Hey, what is up, everybody? So I'm coming to you today with some news on Canelo news. Well, Canelo came out this past week and said he wants to fight 4 times now in 2021. We already know he's fighting February 27th when he takes on Avni Yildirim, mandatory title defense right there. Then in May, he is almost for sure going to fight Billy Joe Saunders in a title unification bout. Saunders is the undefeated WBO champion. Now, this is Canelo's quest to become the undisputed super middleweight champion. That's 168. So in September, it's likely that he's going to face off. This is barring he wins and has 3 of the 4 belts. He's going to go for the 4th belt in September and the undisputed championship, most likely against Caleb Plant. Now, he's got the 2-fight deal with DAZN. That's taking place the end of this month and in May for Matchroom and DAZN. Now, September, for Mexican Independence Day, if the Caleb Plant fight happens, which I think it will, that's likely going to be on Showtime pay-per-view because Plant is a PBC guy. So Showtime or Fox pay-per-view, you're going to see Canelo. I think Canelo wants to get that pay-per-view money. Hopefully by that point, they can bring in a full live gate. And, because Corona's cleared up a little bit, I'm hoping. So that looks to be the case. But Canelo talking about fighting 4 times, what that says to me is, and I'm going to give my opinion on who that opponent in December could be. But what that tells me is that Canelo realizes, especially after watching Caleb Plant fight in January, that he might not, and he's a very confident fighter, but I don't believe he's overconfident whatsoever. But he already knows none of these 3 fighters are big names that, everybody knows. Everybody else knows. They're good fighters. Yildirim, not so much, he's okay. We're going to see how he does. But, and you never know in boxing. Billy Joe Saunders, a good boxer. Slick southpaw, but I don't think he's going to be able to compete with Canelo. Canelo just has is going to be able to get to him, in my opinion, break him down. And he will land punches. Caleb Plant, I don't know if he poses much of a threat. And again, these guys aren't big name fighters. So Canelo becomes undisputed. I think he's going to want to seal the year off with a big name opponent is what he's going for. And I think that's why he's considering December. Plus, Canelo's normal fight dates are May and September. So after not really getting a big name in 2021, but becoming undisputed, which is a big deal. But after not really getting a big name, and really, when was the last time he had a big-time fight? We're talking Sergey Kovalev. Okay, he's looking at going, you know what? I'll close out the year and fight a big-name fighter. And for me, there's 2 fights that I think Canelo's going to go for in December. The first of which is Jermall Charlo. He's at 160 right now. He's the middleweight champion, WBC middleweight champ. I think there's a very, very strong possibility that he moves up to 168 first half of the year, gets a win, and then could very well be waiting for Canelo in December, especially if Canelo works with the PBC with Caleb Plant, which he should, and does Showtime pay-per-view. He might follow that up with a Showtime pay-per-view in December, going for that pay-per-view money. And Charlo would be a very, very good name to get on his resume. I would love to see that fight. It's a fight I was calling for possibly in May. In 2022. But now that Canelo's leaving the option open, I think Canelo and Charlo, very, very possible. So, check out to see the talk that goes on and also what Charlo does, because it could be very significant. Now, the other option that I think is very, very possible is Canelo and Triple G, Gennady Golovkin. Canelo wants to get that 3rd fight, I think, eventually. I think at least the big fight. And I think my opinion is this. that if the Zone, you know, they have promoted pretty much Canelo's last, what, 6 fights, I believe, I think it's 6 fights in a row, they have had Canelo. They know the money that he draws. They're getting his next 2 fights. It's going to be 8 fights in a row. They might lose him for a fight over to PBC and Fox and Showtime, but I think there's a very good chance that they break the bank to bring him back to fight Triple G. And that fight, because they're already paying Triple G $16 million a fight with his contract, over $16 million. So I think they might break the bank, especially for a 3rd fight, and they might pay him over 30 to 35 mil to fight Triple G in a 3rd fight in December. It's the fight they wanted. That's why they signed Canelo and Triple G to contracts, to big contracts. Canelo got out of his contract. Triple G's still in it. He's going to fight his 4th fight of that contract coming up. It's a 6-fight deal. And Canelo, the 3rd fight could take place in December. I really think those 2, Charlo and Triple G, are very, very strong possibilities. And I really think you need to check out to see if it's going to be those 2. I really, really believe that. I think you should pay attention to what Triple G's doing. If Triple G's fighting Jaime Munguia, he might be the better option. And I really think Canelo's going to let the PBC and Fox and Showtime try to compete with the Zone for the fight in December, because whoever comes out of that, the winner, it's going to be a huge fight, and there's going to be a lot of money to be made at the gate, at the stadium, if we're back to full capacity crowds, and pay-per-view money, and then also DAZN buys. And actually, DAZN is smart, working with pay-per-view companies now to be able to order the Canelo fight if they just want to order the 1 fight, but DAZN's having killer deals right now, guys. $100 for the whole year instead of $20 a month. I just did re-signed up yesterday for that deal, and it was I think that breaks down to $240 for the whole year if you're paying $20 a month, as opposed to dropping $100 on the spot and paying for for the whole year. And that's what I did. I think that was smart to save that much money. So go check this out. Get DAZN early, but really see what's going on with Canelo and what he could be doing next. Him and Charlo, or him and Triple G3. I think either way is going to be good. So we'll see what happens. All right, guys, that's it. That's my opinion. I hope you guys enjoyed this. True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.